Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Tome Travelers. This is episode 13, and we are starting off with a brand new book. We are starting The Emperor's Blades by Brian Stavely. Really excited about this. But before we jump into our discussion, we've got a quick announcement. Again, we did recently launch our Discord, so the link for that is in the description. If you want to join that, you can join that. Type your thoughts about our recent episodes, your thought about the books as we read along in them, and just overall grow a nice little community and vibe with people. So that link is in the YouTube video, hopefully. So click that. And then that's pretty much the only announcement we have. Again, we want to apologize for the delay of the release of this episode. We've had some scheduling issues, but we're getting back on track, and hopefully these delays won't occur any longer. So yeah, let's dive into our fantasy question. Whitson, you got our question this week. What is it?
Yeah, if you were a D&D character, what would your class be?
All right.
And we took a quiz together before this and got what the internet says it should be, but
I'll say I'm definitely not what the internet says I should be, because the internet says I should be a fighter. And the very first words were, "You are athletic." No, that is not me. Not at all. I think I'm a paladin personally, because like I can sing. I'm a worship pastor, so I'm
Bardy.
religious and
Well,
talented, I
Bardy
guess.
is talented.
I'm a bardy paladin, I guess. I'm a
Okay,
multi-class. I'm a multi-class.
multi-class.
No, I'm definitely not as charismatic as a bard, but I feel like I just have a little bit of charisma with the paladin. So I'll say paladin for me. What about you, Dylan?
So the internet said I was a sork, and I agree with it. Because they're kind of intelligent, they're kind of charismatic, they kind of like to have a lot of different things going for them. And
Yeah.
it's I'm kind of like a, you know, see what else it says.
toot your own horn.
Inclination towards greatness and success. I would like to think.
What did
But
mine
no,
say?
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I got fighter, and it's probably right. I'd like to be like I don't know, a rogue or something, but that's probably not true.
Yeah,
Not
it's like,
really
what
your-
are you actually?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not really your character either. You don't really have rogue inclination character wise.
No. No. I like to think I'm spicy. But
Spicy like the chef feet.
yeah.
All right. Well, with that, let's go ahead and jump into episode 13 of The Tome Travelers.
Doo-doo-doo.
All right. So, starting us off with a brief synopsis of the book, we are introduced in the prologue to Tanis, I think is how you say his name, who is disgusted by his daughter, who is affected by this thing called the rot, which is basically age, I think is what I got from that.
I think that's what I got from it too.
And
Yeah.
Tanis is refusing to listen to any sort of reason coming from her, and instead drives a knife through her heart while she's pleading for her life. And then as he does that, he's also talking about love. So it's kind of a great way to start off this book. And then later we meet Caden, who is a monk searching for a lost goat, following a blood trail, hoping that the goat is alive, but turns out that the goat is not just dead, but is like eviscerated and destroyed. Like intestines are like mangled and ripped out everywhere or whatever. And so he harnesses his monk power to not be scared and draw a picture. and he gets through that, and then turns and goes home, which I think his home was called Talon, to go tell all of his monk friends that there's something out there in the woods.
Yep.
So just basically 2 chapters today. What were your guys' initial thoughts on it?
So I read like the description of what the book's supposed to be about or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and it was talking about how it's supposed to be about like a king dies and he's got 3 kids and they're all trying to like they're all like completely different, and one of them is Caden.
Caden? Okay.
Caden, the monk. And then he's got a daughter and another son, and they're like all trying to get back because he dies or something like that. They're all trying to get back to do, I don't know, do something. But
Right.
like I read that after I read the prologue and the second part because I was really or the first chapter. I was like, these seem really different things. I was like, let's see what this book's actually about.
Yeah.
But I thought the first part was really interesting, or the prologue. Talking about the rot, like you said, it sounded like it was age, and he was talking about how Artanis talking about how he was like tens of thousands of years old or something like that.
Right.
No, he said he's a couple hundred years old, right?
But there were people who were thousands of years old.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
And they were called like the Sestrum or something.
Well, yeah, and then he said the council voted on Faith's death. And I was like, I was trying to figure out, like, I wonder what this who this council is and why they vote on deaths. And
well, it sounds like they're just like culturally eugenic, like Spartan. Like they just kick the weak ones off the cliff, basically.
Well, something else, was Faith actually his daughter, or was
it said it said like you were I came from your seed or something like that. Like it was actually his daughter.
Well, at one point it kind of confused me because it was talking about like her, like it was like a, like, you know, like you'll have a cult or something like that, and like all the kids are everyone's sons and daughters. Like that's kind of the vibe I got for a little bit.
Well, I was thinking because it says like Tanis has done this before or whatever, but this daughter was like different or whatever. I think it's because Tanis is so old. He's had so many kids that I think
true.
that's kind of more like the vibe.
That just completely cold to them.
Yeah.
Like, totally detached.
Well, it sounds like this is his job, is to kill people with rot too.
I don't know if it's his job or if it's like he just did it because it was his daughter. Because it also felt like he was like disgusted, like that his daughter had like age that had like succumbed to this decay. Is like, I really loved the way that like Brian Stavely was like describing it, because like just the words that he used, like it said, like one of the quotes was like, love, the syllable felt weird or the syllable tasted weird on his tongue or whatever. Like I just like the ways that Brian Stavely is like describing this, and it really, I don't know, it really like put you inside of his mind, which is weird.
Well, yeah, he seems very like non-emotional, like, you know, sociopath, whichever one that is.
Sociopath.
Sociopathic.
Seems very emotionless almost.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. I thought the Shalon memory thing was pretty cool. Like, I don't know when this came out. It'd be funny if that was like an homage.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it even said that like the monks were called Shin.
Yeah.
I read that and I was like, oh no, here we go again. Yeah. 2013. So like 2 years after Way of Kings.
Yeah.
So like he was talking about his special power though, and I thought he was gonna have like which, I mean, that could be a power. Like he can remember. It says he remembers stuff in better detail than he can see just looking at it. Yeah. But I thought I was gonna talk about like an actual power or something.
Yeah, I thought we were about to get magical.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So real quick, like for the initial thoughts, like, are you guys like interested or invested, wanting to learn more, or like are you still kind of in that phase where like I don't really care right now, I'm hoping it gets better?
I
have an issue with it. Yeah. I've got questions about it. I'm down to keep reading. I like his writing style so far.
Yeah, I'm interested in the prologue part. The monk part really didn't pull me in, but I mean, it's the first chapter, and it's like we're just getting introduced to this guy. So like, next chapter could be like really pulling in. But I think the prologue did a really good thing of like introducing a lot of questions, like, you know, what's rot, who's this council.
Yeah, it dropped a lot of like names too, like the Sestrum, and then a Great War, and then all this stuff going on. I think it did a good job of like building up a world very quickly. It set a tone for it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah. Let's see. So we talked about the rot, kind of. We didn't really talk about the Sestrum. They said that like the Sestrum were like these, like undying people, the people who were older than Tanis, that's his name,
Yeah.
and that like they've lived like thousands of years old or whatever. What do you think? I don't know. Like, I don't know how to phrase this question because it's so early. Like,
So
what do you think
maybe
they
like,
can do?
why are they living so long?
Okay,
That's my
yeah.
question. Why do they live so long? Like, what's up with that? And because if Rot really is aging, then it sounds like, it's not normal. So is it just like it's something naturally that happens for them, or is there like a power that's involved?
Or is it like a choice? Like, you can choose to start aging or whatever, and maybe that like has something to do with emotion or something. Because like Tanis basically had no emotion, but his daughter was like begging, like hate, love, and he's like, those are your words, not mine.
Yeah.
Like so,
Could
but he
be.
said not ours, almost like he was speaking for the Sestrum, which was kind of cool.
Yeah. That's why I got the like a group mentality vibes from that, and like he was older, so he could have multiple children, but it just sounded like the way he was talking to him about them was so emotional. It's like, everyone's chill. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also wondering if these two chapters happen in the same like time span, or if they're like
yeah.
like very much separated, because then maybe the Cestrium are like the god race and they're like way in humanity's past, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
Could be.
I didn't even think about that. I guess I just didn't see like thousands of years in the future or whatever at the top of the first.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, that's a good question. Is it happening at the same time or not?
And I'm interested to see what all what the conflict is actually going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All conflict, because I know, like I said, I said about the like blurb or whatever. So
it said something about 3 siblings and
yeah,
the king or whatever. So I'm definitely excited because I didn't read the blurb. I was just recommended this book by a friend who said you need to read this, and so I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And so far I'm very interested in continuing onwards. Like, let's like the thing that destroyed the goat. Like, what is that? Like, is that a demon? Are there demons in this world, or is it just some sort of like sorcerer? Or like, there's so many questions that I have about this. Like, and he's setting it up to be something big.
I'm trying to remember about the blurb. I think it said the sister was like a dragon rider or a wyvern rider or something.
Oh.
Whoa.
Yeah, I can't remember for sure, so I'd have to look. But
he's throwing
but
us
like
off the scent.
Yeah, maybe that's what killed the goat was a little baby dragon or something, and then Monk Boy is gonna become a dragon rider or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of get the vibe that it's going to be pretty like high fantasy,
Fantastical.
like
Yeah,
lots of magic. But I hadn't seen any yet, except for the undying, god race or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was thinking like demon, but yeah, wyvern.
Yeah, demon.
Is a good guess.
Wyvern is pretty sick. Maybe it's something like wyverns are coming back, like dragons are coming back or something.
Well, it said they had like a group of dragon riders or something, like part of the army or something.
I'm not sure. I'm definitely intrigued about it. I didn't read the blurb, so
I'm reading it right now.
Okay, so the Caden is the heir. So
right,
he's
This is Caden, the heir to the Unwind Throne, has spent 8 years sequestered in a remote mountain monastery, learning the enigmatic discipline of the monks devoted to the blank god. Okay, so is there going to be religion in this too? Okay.
Seems like it.
Their rituals hold the key to an ancient power he must master before it's too late. An ocean away, Valen endures the brutal training of the Kettle, elite soldiers who fly into battle on gigantic black hawks. Okay.
So not dragons. But...
That's still dope.
I was on the right track.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Okay. I'm excited to go. Okay. And that explains like the book cover, because like if you look at the book cover, there's like a hawk that like in the background that's like got like a muzzle over its nose or something.
Yeah, I had wondered what that was about.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm really
So-
getting into this now
yeah.
that I actually read the blurb. Like,
So
I don't know where this thing is going. So
sounds like Caden's got to do something to like get his rightful place of the throne, and then like his brother's got to come save him, and then you didn't read the last part, but his sister's like back like in the kingdom. Sounds like trying to handle shit while they're not there. So it sounds
Okay.
like they're all going to be on the same team, maybe trying to like get the kingdom saved or something. But I'm interested too. I'm really hoping like they keep especially if like the religion thing is right and that rot shit has to do with religion. I'm really interested to see where that goes.
right.
Yeah.
I think that could be really cool.
What did you guys think of like the monk? Like, they have no fear, but they also like they draw on this like breath power or whatever that just lets them like basically sketch out in the time it
It's
takes
just
to take a picture.
meditation, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a well, it's like Demon Slayer. Their breaths aren't actually power. It's like they're
Yeah,
breathing. or
they're
whatever.
meditating.
Yeah.
Just meditating. Fair.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's cool. And it might get magical.
Yeah.
Could get
Well, it said
magical.
like anyone could like sketch a picture, but like only the monks can make the details immaculate or whatever. And so I thought
Yeah.
that was pretty cool. That's like, okay, so they teach monks to draw. Interesting.
Seems important.
Yeah. Okay, so how do you? Okay, so going on to like some questions that I have. How magical do you think this book is going to be? Like a 0 being like 0 magic, nothing's happening, or a 10 being like everyone's a wizard, we're throwing fireballs across at each other with magic wands or whatever. On a scale of like 1, how magical do you think it's going to be?
I think like a 6 or 7, probably.
I think it's going to lean more towards like hand-to-hand combat, swords, and all that.
Yeah, more
But I
swords
definitely
and
think there's
sorcery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some magical aspects, but I think it's going to go into more like doing like the religion thing, or like he was talking about. They have like an ancient ritual, so I feel like it'll be more like almost occultish type stuff.
Okay, yeah.
So like
Yeah,
maybe
that's
like
where
a
I'm
4,
at with it too.
maybe like a 4 for me, 5.
Yeah, I was thinking like probably like 4
Okay.
or 5 for me as well.
I kind of I don't know why it is baseless, but I just feel like it's going to be a little more magical
Magical than that.
than that. But
Well,
it kind of the
yeah.
same vibe though.
I mean,
Yeah, I think it's still going to be more on like the laymen with swords, but I
yeah,
think there'll be a lot of magic involved because they're flying around on giant crows.
right. Do you think the Sestrim are like a product of magic, or is that just like a race or something like that? Or like a race of people? Or is it something crafted by magic or a curse or something like that?
What if like okay, so what if so like they have their kingdom over here that Caden's supposed to take over, and the Sestrom and like the people that Canis or whatever, they're a different kingdom, and then like they're against each other.
Oh, okay.
And so like the ritual he's got to figure out is like how to make these people start dying because they can't die.
Oh, okay. See, this is my favorite part about when we do books is like the first episode when none of us know anything that's going on, so we just get to shout out random things. Okay. I dig that. I didn't even think about that. See, in my mind, I was thinking this was all part of the same kingdom in the same time. So, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
my guess is that they're the god race, like the Otsutsuki from Naruto,
Mm-hmm.
like that kind of thing.
Okay. Dope.
Maybe.
Maybe, just maybe.
Is that right? Did I butcher that?
No, it's
I'm not sure.
yeah, but I mean, basically they're the god race.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm definitely interested in learning more. And now that I read this blurb, actually, I'm very interested.
Yeah, that's
in.
kind of
Yeah, well, that's what like I
lot of
had to
details in it.
after I read the prologue and the first chapter. I was like, I gotta go read the blurb to see what this is actually about.
Right.
Usually I don't bother reading them.
Yeah, me neither. But Dylan really just dangled the carrot in front of me, and I was like, "Ooh."
Well, that's what it was. It's like I can't like because we stop after the first chapter. And it's like well, I can't keep reading, but it's like I want to know what I'm actually like getting into now. Like if I can keep reading, I just figure it out as I go. But like
Yeah.
Let's at least
Yeah.
let's have a basis for where we're starting, and we'll go
Yeah.
from there.
Well, now that like we have that basis too, like our theories, like we can kind of like hone in. So like we know there's probably this conflict between these three siblings or whatever.
Or
So-
other people and the siblings are trying to like. I think the siblings are gonna be more of on a team. I
Yeah.
don't know if they're gonna be against each other.
Yeah, less of
Yeah.
like a Game of Thrones, like we're fighting for the throne type thing. And more of like we're fighting to make sure our country lives or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Anything else? Anybody got
not that
anything
I can
else?
think of. There wasn't really a
No.
lot for this episode, so it makes sense that
4
this one's a bit
pages.
shorter. Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
4.5 or 5 pages.
Hey, but this for 4 pages, there's a lot packed in there.
Oh
There's
yeah.
a lot.
I think I think it did a really good job of like setting up the world and or setting up the tone specifically.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the prologue was like dark, and then the first chapter was like dark, like
Yeah.
it's dark out night. There's a literal destroyed carcass of a goat. Like fear, we must not fear. It gave me like Dune vibes.
Or
like,
I almost got
Fears the
horror
Night King.
vibes from it, but from
Yeah.
prologue version. I almost got like a horror novel vibe from it.
Yeah, so
But-
horror fantasy. Yeah, I'm excited for it. That's pretty much all we've got for this episode. For next episode, we're gonna read through chapter 25. So through chapter 25, do not read chapter 26. And I think because I did a quick flip through to see how many chapters there were, and there were 50 in the book. So I think stop literal halfway is a good point for us. As always, if you guys like the video or the podcast, we ask that you share it with your friends. You like or subscribe and follow on your preferred platform. We are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well as YouTube. And we now have our Discord as well, which you can join. You could also follow us on Facebook, where we post announcements, kind of like our announcements for the delays in the episode, which again, apologize for. But yeah, also leave down in the YouTube comments or in our Discord a fantasy question that you want us to answer, because we
We're running
have a
dry.
hard time coming out.
running dry.
We have a hard time coming up with them. And whenever you guys have sent them in the past, they've always like invoked really good discussions. So yeah, leave a comment, let us know a question you want us to answer, and I think we will see you all in the next one. Where's my mouse? There it is. Peace.